Exceptionally goal-oriented and self-driven individuals, an ENTJ's first concern is always what needs to be done and what is the best procedure in which to do it. Leadership comes easily to ENTJs. They are aggressively take-charge individuals who are skilled at coming up with in-game plans and are motivated to see them through.
I'm waiting!
They are highly initiating and much prefer to ask forgiveness rather than wait around to get permission. This results in a no-nonsense individual who is both hyper-organized and who values productivity and effective routine. Like all the videos in this series, I aim to get you inside your character's head in order to assist you in portraying fictional characters that feel real, identifiable, and organic by outlining each of the 16 Jungian personality archetypes. However, this will only give you an outline, and a personality type does not a character make. Hopefully by the end of this video you will better understand how the ENTJ processes and values information and how this affects their behavior, decision-making, and communication style, so that you can then add motivations, backstory, interests, relationships, and likely personality quirks to result in a more organically complete character that your audience will connect with. I'll give you the outline, and then you can fill it in. If your ENTJ character had a favorite saying, it would probably be, better to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond, or never bring a knife to a gunfight. Nothing is valued more by the ENTJ as results, efficiency, and practicality. They approach problem solving in a meticulous and controlled manner. They will seek to find out as much data as is relevant to what they are trying to achieve, and they do not care where that information comes from, so long as it is useful and helps them further their goals.
You're a northerner, aren't you? Good. And what do they say of Robb Stark in the north?
Thus, a third-party conversation could be just as relevant to the ENTJ as a traditionally respected source. ENTJs do not value things like credentials, degrees, and seniority in quite the same way as many other personality types. These things are generally the result of productivity and usefulness, but they can also be the result of social connections and longevity. The ENTJ will respect those they see as useful and productive and will dismiss those they see as not, irregardless of traditional social indicators or status.
Now, you can break the code.
You didn't bring me along for my charming personality.
I don't distrust you because you're a woman. I distrust you because you're not as smart as you think you are. You've allowed that boy to ride roughshod over you and everyone else in this city.
This can appear to others as a shallow and naive understanding of the world and can cause them to dismiss the ENTJ as unintelligent, and this can lead to a lot of conflict in the ENTJ's life when others, who feel their credentials or status should guarantee them respect and deferment, is found lacking in the ENTJ's assessment.
You were supposed to be this colossus. You were this great legendary thing, and yet he gains.
Well, I'm killing 3 people, and he got only himself.
I do not accept excuses. I'm just going to have to find myself a new giant, that's all.
Any man who must say, "I am the king," is no true king. I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
I don't understand why it's so difficult to confirm an appointment.
No, I'm so sorry, Miranda. I actually did confirm last
Details
night.
of your incompetence do not interest me.
You swore allegiance to House Stark, Lord Glover. But in their hour of greatest need, you refused the call.
They seek to understand the underlying system of whatever it is they are working towards so that they can more efficiently go about doing whatever it is they want to do.
It's fabric from the uniform of an army officer of Gilder.
Who is Gilder?
The country across the sea, the sworn enemy of Florin. Go! Once the horse reaches the castle, the fabric will make the prince suspect the Gilderians have abducted his love.
And then cerulean quickly showed up in the collections of 8 different designers. And then it filtered down through the department stores and then Trickled on down into some tragic, casual corner where you no doubt fished it out of some clearance bin. You're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room.
The circuits that cannot be cut are cut automatically in response to a terrorist incident. You asked for miracles, dear. I give you the FBI.
What the ENTJ does not value in any shape or form is emotional sentiment or emotional arguments.
Did you see what he looks like?
I saw a coward.
You don't have any idea what he's going
I don't
through.
care. I would never say what he just said. Not if they tortured me, not with a gun to my head.
That is the same PETA that defended you at the whipping post.
No, it's not. Now he's only defending himself.
One blood, you'll have it. But let Heinrich plant the detonators and Theo prepare the vault. After we call the police, they'll waste hours trying to negotiate, and then you can tear the building apart looking for this man. But until then, we do not alter the plan.
This includes things like social norms and conventions when it gets in the way of progress. Feelings are far too subjective and random to be of any practical use, and the ENTJ has things to get done.
Hold the fuck up. Am I in therapy?
Well, it's like therapy, yes, but with an incentive.
I don't give a shit what the incentive is. I'm not gonna talk about my feelings.
However, any argument or suggestions based on reason and objective data are things that the ENTJ is likely to be interested in hearing about. Knowledge is power, and the ENTJ instinctually understands this. So if there is hard knowledge to be had that is relevant to what they're trying to do, they will listen and take it seriously, no matter where that knowledge comes from.
You were right about Eddard Stark. I always thought you were a stunted fool. Perhaps I was wrong.
Thus, the ENTJ does have a knack for innovation and will often come up with solutions to problems that are quite outside the box. ENTJs seek, first and foremost, to gain control over their environment so as to implement their ideas for greater efficiency and productivity. They often use leadership positions in order to accomplish this, but the leadership position itself is not the goal. As take charge as their mentality is, they are not driven by a desire for power or authority, only for progress and productivity. Thus, the ENTJ is perfectly happy to let someone else take the reins if that person is both competent and capable. It's just rare for the ENTJ to come across someone whose overall competence and productivity outweighs the ENTJ's obsessive work ethic.
He's my king, from this day until his last day.
If the ENTJ could be summed up in 2 words, those words would be ruthlessly pragmatic.
Your Highness, there's nothing more we can do tonight. The shield doors must be closed.
ENTJs utilize a direct style of communication. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. Their speech patterns will show an economy of words and a get directly to the point attitude.
I was his steward. In fact,
I think we've had enough small talk. Why are you here?
They want to call it the way they see it, and they detest the idea of sugarcoating anything.
Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. You're trying to kidnap what I've rightfully stolen.
This bucket of bolts is never going to get us past that blockade.
This baby's got a few surprises left in her, sweetheart.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
Not giving their blunt analysis about a thing or trying to frame that analysis in a way that is different than directly stating what it is likely to lead to misunderstandings. How can anything ever be improved and progress made unless the other person is very, very clear on what the information the ENTJ is trying to communicate is?
I asked for clean, athletic, smiling. She sent me dirty, tired, and paunchy.
That being said, their style of communication can lead to a lot of conflict in their lives due to the ENTJ's sheer ignorance of other people's feelings and their inability to see the value in framing their communication in a more diplomatic way.
Can't get out that way.
Looks like you managed to cut off our only escape route.
Maybe you'd like it back in your cell, Your Highness.
A mature ENTJ learns to overcome this, but it's a hard learning curve. And until the individual ENTJ gains sufficient practice, their attempts at diplomatic communication can take on more of a play-acting quality.
Well, we're so grateful that you do.
Welcome to Bear Island.
As much as they value knowledge, they do not pursue it for its own sake. The ENTJ always has an ulterior motive when they are seeking out data and are only interested in learning as much as they need to learn in order to get done what they want to get done. ENTJs are not individuals who are prone to having deep knowledge about a subject that just happens to interest them, but has no real manifestation in the real world. Their long-term success comes from their dogged stubbornness, work ethic, and sheer willpower, not from any level of actually having their shit together. Despite their outwardly reserved and buttoned-up appearance, ENTJs are typically quite impulsive, and this is likely to show up in all aspects of their lives, from random purchases to spur-of-the-moment projects to relationships. Thus, many parts of their lives are liable to be in a state of disarray if they aren't the parts that the ENTJ is currently focused on. An ENTJ working on their relationship is liable to neglect their work and vice versa. They measure their own sense of self-worth by the opinions that those around them have for the ENTJ. ENTJs are constantly worried that they are, at their core, rotten and somehow lacking the basic element that makes good people good, and specifically that makes good people valuable. It is at the core of the ENTJ belief system that everything is capable of being organized and quantified, and therefore there must be some tangible, measurable standard that makes good people good, and that measurable standard must be the value and thus productivity that good people bring to the table. So the ENTJ is always trying to quiet this insecurity by working very hard and by showing those around them their accomplishments, in the hopes that others will then have a positive opinion about the ENTJ.
Benefits of a classical education.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Oh, I forgot. Here.
Oh my God. Is this real?
Yeah, better be. Cost me a squirrel.
They take their own future very seriously and are driven to ensure its security. They instinctually feel that if they work hard, there is nothing they cannot accomplish. This almost always takes the form of acquiring wealth and financial success. Not only is money a clear, measurable, and universally acknowledged measure of success that can be displayed to others, but it is also intrinsically useful in and of itself. Money can be used as a tool to accomplish even more things. So, the acquisition of material wealth appeals to the ENTJ on multiple levels. However, to those around them, this relentless push to acquire wealth, combined with their random bouts of impulse purchasing and their tendency to be snazzy dressers who like to stand out in a crowd, can often give the impression that the ENTJ is simply a power-hungry greed machine who enjoys little less in life than bragging about their accomplishments and pretending that they're better than everyone else.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself.
They show affection for others by trying to point out the flaws in their strategies or thinking process so that those around them can more quickly achieve whatever it is the other person is trying to achieve.
Girl.
My lord. No born girls say my lord, not my lord. If you're going to pose as a commoner, you should do it properly.
An ENTJ would be happy to have the opportunity to increase their own efficiency, even if the initial criticism stung a bit. So when they care about someone, they will freely offer this opportunity for improvement. They will give blunt and logical reasons for another's failings and deliver them in a cold and efficient way, fully expecting that the other person will have the same mindset as them.
With what you are, fairy princess, you need to be somebody's, or you won't be at all. Eric is handsome, he's rich, and in his own way, he cares about you. He really does.
However, their affection is rarely taken for the good-natured gesture that it is.
If they don't have a bow, then you make one, okay? You know how to hunt.
Animals.
It's no different, Candace.
There's 24 of us, Gail. Only one comes out.
And it's gonna be you.
A lifetime of this repeated pattern of trying to pragmatically help those they care about so as to foster a closer relationship, only to have their affections returned with anger.
The rumors of your demise were unfounded.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Will lead the ENTJ to keep others at arm's length and to develop a reluctance to let anyone get close to them.
I'm so sorry, Miranda. If you want me to cancel your evening, I can.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would we do that?
Continually attempting to rationally show affection to people they value, only to be rejected and answered with nonsensical emotional responses and treated as the bad guy, can cause even the healthiest of ENTJs to develop some serious abandonment issues.
I've been with Eric over 100 years. I've watched him seduce supermodels and princesses and spit out their bones when he is finished. How can someone named Sookie take him away from me?
You want me to stay because of the way you feel about me?
Yes, you're a great help to us. You're a natural leader.
No, that's not it. Come on. Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I?
Gail, it was an act.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I did what I had to do to survive. If I didn't, I'd be dead.
I had to do that. At least once.
The few who are allowed to see beneath the ENTJ's constructed armor will generally see a big teddy bear.
Don't fucking touch me.
Just a teddy bear that happens to be wrapped in electrocuted razor wire. Most ENTJs genuinely wish to help people and have strong altruistic and humanitarian leanings. They believe things could be done better and in a more rational and organized way, and they wish to help people achieve this so that they will suffer less. They are very good at seeing the potential in others and will be the first to root for an underdog.
Kneel, or I'll carve your lungs out, boy.
You do no such thing. This one's a girl, you idiot. Dressed as a boy. Why?
Safer to travel, my lord.
Smart.
Of course, then they may go on a long monologue to that underdog about what they can do and what they should do to improve themselves. ENTJs are often seen by others as overbearing because most people do not wish to be helped in the ways ENTJs offer help.
I don't know who you are or where you came from, but from now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
When they spot potential in others, ENTJs tend to be quite willing to invest in them with their time, money, and other resources. A tall wave raises all ships, and ENTJs love to think of themselves as that wave, lifting up everyone around them.
I need you to become the man you were always meant to be. Not next year, not tomorrow. Now.
Say for what? To starve? Work like slaves? Send their kids to the reaping? You haven't hurt people, Katniss. You've given them an opportunity. They just have to be brave enough to take it. There's already talk in the minds. People want to fight.
ENTJs have an absurdist horror sense of humor. It can border on silly, in a grim reaper picking daisies for his girlfriend sort of way.
Remember how I was asking how you would, what you would do if you, killed somebody by accident?
Did you call the hypothetical hardware store and buy a theoretical chainsaw?
Since they truly don't care about other people's feelings, they take a perverse enjoyment at seeing just how far they can push those around them and then revel in the shocked reactions afterwards. They will usually be drawn to a darker humor, but anything with a sufficient level of wit and intelligence will ultimately appeal to them. A rather enjoyable pastime for the ENTJ would be to trade dry, sarcastic, and mocking insults back and forth between themselves and a loved one, just to see who could best one-up the other.
You just sent the most powerful man in Westeros to bed without his supper.
You're a fool if you believe he's the most powerful man in Westeros.
A treasonous statement. Joffrey is king.
You really think a crown gives you power?
You can easily expect the ENTJ's humor to be rude, crude, raw, shocking, aggressive, and heavily sarcastic.
Laurels for spring. Groundbreaking.
Are we girls now? Do we join a book club and read some queer chick-lit memoir? So now we're bonded together by estrogen or sisterhood or some other feminist dribble.
ENTJ villains will be motivated by directed apathy and resentment. Their sense of value comes from what others think of them. So if they feel no one thinks they are a good person, if everyone around them thinks they are greedy or selfish, if the ENTJ does not feel valued and there's no way to win, then why should they even try? They will respond with a my way or the highway mentality where they will work only to secure their own future and to hell with anyone who gets in their way. People will become numbers to them and will have no value outside of the ENTJ's personal goals. If they do make any investments into others, they will expect those investments to pay dividends and will return at a future point to collect, with interest.
I will kill her. And remember this. Never forget this. When I found you, you were so slobbering drunk you couldn't buy brandy.
ENTJs are highly sensitive to the logical inconsistencies and inefficiencies of those around them.
Inconceivable.
And can become agitated if unable to correct the problem. Their method of problem solving, however, is almost universally forceful. If someone or something becomes a problem, their first instinct is to break it so that they can never rear up and become a problem again.
You hear that? Talk to me! Where are my detonators? Where are they, or shall I shoot another one? Sooner or later, I might get to someone you do care about.
I don't fucking think so.
No! Damn, I forbid you!
Now, healthy ENTJs realize that this must be done in an appropriate way, but it's not difficult to see why an ENTJ would make a good antagonist. Alternatively, an ENTJ antagonist dealing with severe abandonment issues, but whose productivity is still valued by others, will become power hungry and grab at anything that could improve their image or control, without considering the practicalities of these actions. They will become obsessed with how to bolster their outward image through material goods and sensory experiences. They will become even more obsessed with doing all of the time and will become unable to allow themselves to take a break, to the point of their own mental and physical detriment. They will be forceful, aggressive, and insistent upon taking action irregardless of whether or not it hurts the people around them. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have found this video valuable. I've moved this series to my normal Tuesday schedule and will be posting as I'm able to complete the videos. So if there is a personality type you'd like to see, let me know in the comments and I'll try to move it up. After we get through all 16 archetypes, I'll be posting a few videos on how to determine which personality type would work best for your story. based on the type of story you are telling and what you need that particular character to do within the story. So hit the subscribe button if that's something you would like to see. Until then, thank you again and have a great day.